I'll tell you, that video doesn't get easier. Hi guys, I'm Chelsea. I here to chat with you guys about my story and how what you're experiencing as fake the last 2 days was my reality. Growing up, I always wanted to be a dancer. I knew that was the one thing in life that I was good at. It was something that I knew I would want to pursue for the rest of my life. I wanted to make a career out of it. I started dancing at the age of 3, and I started competing at the age of 5, nationally and regionally. And, went to high school, and I was a freshman, right? Didn't party. My parents are both recovering alcoholics. I never had alcohol in the house. And we had this program my freshman year. And I didn't know anybody involved, and I'll be honest, I forgot about it. The people that were in that accident that you guys saw, I didn't know them. So, growing up, I didn't have any awareness really at my high school about drinking and driving, distracted driving, anything like that. So, what happened to me, I lived in a very small town. And our mentality was, it's a small town. Monterey is a small town. Pacific Grove's a small town. Nothing can happen to us. We felt like we were invincible. And I went to all the parties after freshman year. And come my senior year, I was at a competition. And I won first place for Central California, and I was eligible to move on to nationals. And 2 months later, I remember that day, I asked my mom, I said, "Hey mom, I'm gonna go out with my friends tonight, can I borrow the car?" And she was like, "No, not tonight. And I was like, all right, whatever. That night before, I'm just going to be very honest with you guys, my ex and I broke up. So that next day was a Saturday, and I was like, I'm sure there's going to be a party, and I'm sure I'm going to see him. So I want to be sober in case he needs a ride. So that night, I was out with my friends. We went to our friend's house, and everyone started drinking. I didn't. And then I get a text message saying that so-and-so is going to be at this house. Do you want to come? And I said, sure. So my best friend dropped me off at a second party where I was still sober. And in walks my ex. And I said, well, I'm gonna play some beer pong now. And all of my worries, everything that I was worried about just went out the door. I started playing beer pong. Next thing I remember was someone running down the stairs saying, "Hey, I'm leaving, does anyone need a ride?" Me not asking any questions, I said, yep, me, and I ran towards the door, and I ran out and I yelled shotgun. And my ex ran out after me and said, no, I get shotgun, you're sitting in the back. And the only thing I said to him that night that I could remember was, whatever, I'll deal with you tomorrow. 7 of us piled into a 5-seater car. And I was sitting on my friend's lap. We dropped off 2 people. And I'll pause here because none of us asked our friend who was driving if he had been drinking. None of us. I saw that he had a red cup, but I didn't ask what was in it. I didn't ask, had he been drinking? Not only did I not ask for my friend's sake, but none of my friends in that car asked. Nobody questioned him. So we drove past my house, and the music was blaring, we're dancing, having a good time, not realizing that our driver was drunk. And I remember they turned down the music and they said, "Hey, Chelsea, we just passed your house, do you want to get out?" And I said, "Nope, it's fine. You can drop me off on the way back into town." That moment haunts me forever. I had the option to get out, and I didn't. So we dropped off another friend. I slid into the middle seat. And there's this little part of my hometown that's, 17-mile drive. It's very windy and lots of trees everywhere. It was very dark, no street lights, nothing. And I remember we went around this turn and I kind of fell onto my friend's shoulder, and that's when he reached behind me and said, "Hey, buckle up." And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay." Buckled up. And about 30 seconds later, I remember this yellow flashing light, and I remember we went around another turn, and I kind of fell onto his shoulder again, and as soon as I sat up, there was a tree in front of us, and we hit. We were going about 35 miles an hour into a dead stop. After that, I don't remember anything. I don't visually remember what I saw, what happened in that accident, but I do remember everything I felt. Do you guys ever have a feeling of you wake up and you're like, that was a bad dream? And it felt so real? That's exactly what it felt like for me. I remember feeling scared. I remember feeling stuck. I remember feeling cold. But visually, I don't remember anything. Thank God. I guess my ex came around to get to me, and when we hit, we were at like a tilt. The car hit, we went down an embankment and hit a tree head on. And he tried to pull me out of the car. Apparently, he said, "Push into your legs and I'll pull you out." And I said, "I can't." And he said, "Why? Just push in, I'll pull you out. I gotta get you out." And I said, "I can't feel my legs." And he dropped me. He let go, and that's when ambulance, everyone came. I don't remember anything after that. I gave them, I guess, all my information on my parents. That's when this part of the story is the hardest, I feel. That's when my mom got a knock on the door, just like a few of you guys did. And it was about 3:30 in the morning, and my mom gets a knock on the door from a police officer, and right away she said, "Where's Chelsea?" And he had to calm her down and said, "She's been in an accident, and she's been life-flighted to the nearest trauma center, and we don't know where she's going." I can't imagine being a parent, raising a child to be 17 years old, and getting that knock on the door. That is nothing I ever wanted my family to ever go through. All because I made that decision to get in that car. Next, my dad gets a phone call. I'll tell you, I'm a daddy's girl. My dad's my rock. My dad is my everything. And to hear the way that he got that call, you guys, he said he saw my mom's name, picked up, and he heard screaming on the other side. And my mom just said, "It's Chelsea, it's Chelsea, it's Chelsea." And my dad finally calmed her down, and she said, "She's been in an accident, I don't know where she's going." And my dad said, "I blacked out, I dropped." And he said, next thing I knew, I was laying on the floor with the phone light on me. And he said, "I completely blacked out. I don't know what that feels like. I don't have kids. I don't know what that feels like." But for the parents in this room, that little glimpse of feeling that they got the last 2 days experiencing this, I pray that's the only thing you guys experience. The pain my family went through, again, because of my decision to get in the car, is something that I can never bring peace to. So I was life-flighted. Myself, the driver, and the person to my right were life-flighted to Northern California, and they performed a 7.5-hour back surgery on me. They opened me from the top of my neck to my tailbone. The doctor said it was one of the worst injuries they've seen. He said when they opened me on the table, that the only thing holding my upper body to my lower body was my skin. My skin. They fused me from L1 to L5, and I'm fully paralyzed from the waist down. I can't feel anything. I can't tell when I have to go to the bathroom. I can't wiggle my toes. Getting dressed is a lot harder. I had to relearn everything. Everything. I briefly remember my dad at the hospital, briefly. And he said that when he walked up to the gurney I was on, he said he was so scared to even see if I was alive. They had no idea what my injuries were. And he said when he got up to the table, he said, "Hi, how are you? Are you good? Are you good?" And I said, "Daddy, I'm okay." And he goes, "Oh, okay." Then I said, "But I can't feel my legs." And he said it was like a brief of like, he was able to say, okay, she's alive. But then when I said that, like I said, I don't know what it's like to be a parent. My dad had no idea what his only child, his daughter's life was going to be like being disabled, being a wheelchair user. So I want to kind of touch on the driver. The driver was a friend of mine, really good friend of mine. He actually invited me to the party. And I'll be honest, he was the friend that was always at the parties, always was drinking, and he actually got sober for 2 months before that night. 2 months. That was the first night he drank. And I had no idea. So they airlifted him. He had a little bit of head trauma, and he was released the next day. Cops came to his door, arrested him immediately. He was the only 18-year-old in that car, driving without a license, and a few other things I won't name. He ended up going to jail and being sentenced to 7 years and 4 months in prison. 7 years and 4 months in prison at 18 years old. He had a full ride scholarship to Long Beach State for baseball. He was one of the top baseball players at our high school. And he lost everything. Everything. All because of one night. One night that nobody questioned him. So I visited him in jail. He wrote me letters, and for my own peace, I had to take responsibility for my actions. But seeing his face on the other side of that glass, like this father saw his kid, I can't imagine what it would feel like to be responsible for this. So I can't even tell you guys how my life has been turned upside down. Like I said, every single thing that I've had to relearn, everything has taken so much time. I won't lie, I have a beautiful life now. I do. I love my life. I have no other choice. But I also won't lie to you that there's a lot of things that I miss being able to do. I miss being able to run and hug someone. I miss being able to feel sand on my feet. I miss being able to just have a carefree life and not have to schedule things. When I'm going to the bathroom, how long is it going to take for me to get into the car? How long is it going to take for me to get dressed? All of that. My entire life is changed. So what I did in high school, when I was a senior in high school affected me for the rest of my life. What my driver did, my friends did, affected me. Every single day I will live with this because of decisions that were made in high school. And I didn't realize that there's life after high school, you guys. You have so much life to live. We all do. And the choices that we all make in high school affect it good and bad. Now, since my accident, okay, I'll tell you a little story. My best friend, big brother in high school growing up, Jamie, he was a partier. He was like a brother to me. And he was with me through my accident every single day. Every day. Five years ago, he was at a bar. He was 26 years old, living in Temecula. And at a party, or went to a bar, left on his motorcycle, tried to pass a car, and ended up hitting the curb, flew off his motorcycle and died. He was drunk. The guy that saw everything I had to deal with from that same decision is gone. Another really good friend of mine, Johnny, he went to one of our rival high school. He's a really good friend of mine. He had a twin brother. And Johnny, none of us knew this, but Johnny suffered with addiction. I had no idea. He hid it very well. And one night, he went to go pick up some drugs, ended up getting behind the wheel, wrapped his car around a tree, and died. I have lost, since my accident, I have lost 11 friends to drugs, alcohol, distracted driving, and suicide. That's insane. I still consider myself young, and that's insane. So if there's anything that I can leave you guys with, I don't know why I'm still here. I don't know why all my friends had to pass away. But I will always wonder, if they didn't pass away and they got the injury I did, what would they think? What would they have to say? What would they have done differently? What would they say to their mom and dad? What letters would they want to write? They don't get that choice. So please, I'm not going to say please. You guys, think twice. We have to. I wish somebody questioned Jamie before getting back on his motorcycle. I wish someone took his keys. For Johnny, I wish someone took his keys away. You may not think it's cool. You may be laughed at. But what happens if something really does happen? So, the impact and what you guys do here is going to affect long term. And I know we all know that. But thank you guys so much for taking this so seriously. I can tell that it's definitely affected a lot of people, and I'm happy that this is fake. And I hope you guys never have to experience what I've experienced, ever. So thank you to the Every 15 Minutes program. This is incredible. You guys are so lucky to be able to even have this awareness. If I had this my senior year, I probably wouldn't be sitting up here. I probably would have been living my life, running around. So you guys are very lucky. So thank you guys so much for having me, and enjoy the rest of your day.